Bienvenue, welcome one and all to another one of my live streams. I am delighted to be joined in the virtual studio by Pepper J, who is a singer, a producer, songwriter, works with a gentleman by the name of John Michael Ferrari, has done for a long and established time. And I believe that the pair of you are quite proud because this latest album, which is a culmination of a number of different albums, has helped you win Outstanding Radio Artist. An amazing achievement.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us on your show. John meant to be here, but he's trying to fix the teepee on the ranch. But yeah, the last album, I Keep Dreaming, was the reason that the Nashville Music Awards awarded John Michael Ferrari Outstanding Radio Artist 2023. It was really cool.
It is very cool. I hope you don't mind me saying, neither he nor I are in the flesh flush of youth, and yet here he is, outstripping some of his younger stalwarts with this incredible success. It's inspirational, and that leads me to my first question.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind this album, I Keep Dreaming? What inspired the theme and the overall sound?
Well, the theme really was that his previous albums had had such success. They all were released after he was 50 years old. Is that right? Yes, pretty much. Okay, well, one was earlier than 50. And
there was
he
one
just
earlier,
felt
there was one earlier, then there was a huge hiatus, and then suddenly this outpouring of musical prowess.
Right. So my early life was in the early 90s. I started producing that in 1990 for him. And then came Be the Smile on Your Face, which was 12 songs, more country crossover that won an amazing a lot of awards. And then My Heart Can't Breathe, which is another more poppy but still country crossover that won more awards. And he was just so blessed, being at the age that we are and still having music played all over the world, that he felt he's still dreaming to be able to do what he wants to do. And that's how it came about. I Keep Dreaming.
So I know that you're very much either an inspiration or involved within the songwriting process. Can you tell me a little bit about the songwriting process for this album? How do you decide which stories or emotions actually make it into songs?
Yes, well, that's true. First of all, we craft each song like it was our child. When you have a child, you have ideas of how the child's going to be. Yeah, no. The child sort of just goes its own way. And I think in a lot of respects, a song does the same. I think that the song, when John begins to write a song, he doesn't even know how it's going to end many times. And sometimes it all comes to him in a moment and he just writes it down. But it's just a matter of working each song individually and then deciding which songs sort of go together. On this last album, I Keep Dreaming, that was just released January 15, 2024.
Right.
It is mostly really pop, dance, country crossover songs with a couple two country songs. I Keep Rolling On is one that I can think of. And we just sort of batched them together because people asked for them. They would hear them at live concerts, but we'd never put them before in a recording studio. So I just decided to do that.
Is there any particular song that you would say is a favorite on this album? I thought we'd hear a little bit from that.
Well, we had 2 teaser singles, and so if you go to Spotify or any place like that, they
Right.
would have the most hits. So that would be, "Music with You" was the first teaser single, and the second was "Who's That Girl?" And so if you look at the Spotify, I think they all have, like, what, 20,000 plays, or I don't know what they have, but it's something big. And so the rest of the album, "I Keep Dreaming," seems to be moving along, as is, "I Wouldn't Lie," which is an interesting baby
Right.
boom type song.
Okay, so let's have a little bit of a listen to Who's That Girl?
Great, thanks. How do you like it so far?
Who's that girl
Oh, there it is.
with the mystery stare? Pretty little girl standing right over there. Forced and gorgeous, what a sight. Hey, little girl, dance with me tonight.
Now, I don't know how it is at your end, but it was very cut out at my end. It didn't flow well. I don't know if it's our connection.
No,
I know
I think it's probably the connection. I apologize for that.
that's
What
what I
we'll
was
do is well, I tell you what, guys, it may have had a very vagueless flavor of the album, but go and check out the I Keep Dreaming album. It's got some lovely punchy tracks, as long as
thank
a lot of lyrical numbers. Let me get back to some questions. Can you talk to me about collaborations? Now, I know in previous albums, John has had some lovely collaborations with some very talented singer songstresses. Oh, can't even say the word singer songstresses. To produce some beautiful sounds. Were there any on this?
Well, actually, John has not had very many collaborations. We had one in the 70s, Brand New River. Um, but other than that, it's just been him and I for about 34 years. Now,
Wow.
in the last 3 years, we've collaborated a couple of times. John wrote a song called "Working My Way to Nashville," real
Right.
country, and I found it hidden in one of his folders. We have folders of unfinished songs or
Wonderful.
brainstorming ideas. And I was looking for something. He wrote it about 7 years ago. And then about 2 years ago, I was looking for something else and I found it. And I thought, this is going to be a great song. But I knew it was the worst time to give it to him because he's doing a radio show still, songwriter's perspective for a Nevada USA radio station. And he was about ready to perform a big gig and he was remixing some songs and about ready to record others. But you know what? Against my better judgment, I asked him about it. And he said, I love that song. You should finish it. So I worked on it for a while and we both liked it, but we didn't feel it had the it factor. So we put it back in the folder. When we are in Nashville, which we're in Nashville 3 or 4 times a year, people are always saying, I'll songwrite with you. I'll co-write with you. It's like, okay. And then when this gentleman that we liked, Ray Ligon, asked, I thought, John, I think this is the perfect person to come aboard for working my way to Nashville. So we went and stayed at his house for a week and worked on the song, how he was going to play it, how he was going to sing it. He helped us with a couple of what we thought were weak lyrics. We had 2 weak lyrics in there, and he made all the difference in the world. And he was happy when we asked him to perform it. So he's the artist on that single, Working My Way to Nashville. It's
Well, there you
done
go.
very well. I like
Oh,
that
good.
one. So that was a co-write. Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
then
So,
very briefly, we had a co-write with Taryn Amy Smith with a children's song called Homework Again. And it's not released yet. But it was delightful and easy, easy, easy. Yeah. Homework again. I've got homework again. I'd rather I got homework again. So it's a real fun thing like that. And so basically we've had say 3 or 4 the last couple of years, but not very many.
well, no, but I tell you what, that makes them even more notable. Um, so tell me how you feel John's sound has evolved
Hmm.
throughout the years, because there has.
Well,
I listened to some early stuff from
yes.
Dust Off
Oh,
onwards,
okay.
and his sound is a lot more smooth now.
Yes.
It's
Well, he wrote Dust Off in 1965
right.
when he was in Vietnam serving in the US military there, the Army. And the Dust Off is the military helicopter that swoops down during a firefight and picks up the wounded and the dead. So he's standing in a swamp, actually his first full day in Vietnam, and snakes everywhere, people shooting at him and everybody, you can't tell where the bullets are coming from. And when it just seems to stop a little bit, this helicopter comes down, and these brave people are hanging out the outside to try to pick up wounded and dead soldiers. And so he wrote that way back when. We included that in his My Early Life album. It's been featured in several movies, and the Dust Off Association has a whole page for it. And yes, he was more young and poppy then, and he's grown into really uh, sort of. They call him a crooner. I don't know. I just think he's sort
It's
of a
much more of a
traditional.
lyrical. It's more of a
Yes,
lyrical crooning sound than it used to
yes,
be.
I think
I
so. I think
definitely.
so. Well, he's received Singer Songwriter of the Year from several organizations, so he must do something right.
So talk to me about the lyrics. Uh, Often, just looking through the album, some of them tell vivid stories. They paint
Yes,
pictures.
yes.
Is there any one of them that you can share the backstory of with me?
Oh, sure, each and every one of them. Um, so Who's That Girl that you played a little bit? John
Yeah,
and I square dance. We scare dance once a week here in Pahrump, Nevada, where we live.
I'd love to see that.
Oh, yeah, you will, please. And or we go to Vegas or we go over to Colorado or whatever. And when we go to Nashville, we find out what square dance is playing, going, and we dance with them. And one day, this 9-year-old was standing next to us, and this beautiful 14-year-old girl walked in with her square dance, attire, just really ribbons and bows. And he yells out, not so she could hear, but so everyone else could hear, "Who's that girl? I want to dance with her." And John came home and wrote, "Who's that girl?"
Oh
And so
wow,
that's
that's
behind that.
that's such a cute story. Um, can you talk to me about the fact that you're gonna have to go and do live performances of this
Yes,
very special album? Can you
yes.
talk about any of those that are coming up for anyone listening?
Sure. Well, anyone that would like to see where John is performing publicly, he does a lot of private gigs, but public performances are at johnmichaelferrari.com/tour, TOUR. And that's his website, John Michael Ferrari,
I will
Ferrari.
put it up on the bottom in a second.
Okay, that's great. And that'll give you his tour schedule. If you look now, well, he just did a big gig at the Rhinestones, is one of the nicest clubs in Nevada here. And he's going to well, he's doing a couple of private events, and then he heads to Nashville for a Smoky Mountain tour. And we're taking Sophie Love with us, who just recorded her first her first single, excuse me. And if you go to johnmichaelferrari.com, you'll see her song there that
How
she
did
and I and John Michael Ferrari wrote.
so
And
how did that happen between the two of them? Is that
well, our that's my dog barking. Oh no.
that's all right.
Our flute player, Patty V, she was helping Sophie Love with her vocals and preparing her to come and see us. So then when Patty said it's time, well, she sent her over to us, and we felt we would take her on, and that was 3 years ago. And we developed her vocally. We developed her knowledge of songwriting. Her first several songs. Well, John's still songwriting with her. I don't think she needs my help anymore, but they're working together on songs. And so we do a lot of, the ranchers for children. And if we can help them out and singing, acting,
well
songwriting,
they're the next
we're
generation they're the next generation of singers, aren't they, really?
yeah, sure
So
they are. Yeah. And they're all like 17, 16, 18.
so so looking beyond this album,
Yes.
Um, are there any plans or aspirations for the next project? Can fans expect
Uh,
any surprises, any
well,
Easter eggs?
sure. We put out an album about every other year. 20, 22. This one was 24, so probably, God willing, in 26. Once in a while, we put out EPs, like we did the gospel inspirational EP with just 4 songs, Soldier's Prayer. And so we'll have more. And if they would like to get in touch with me, they can DM me through Facebook, or they can reach us at the contact page of johnmichaelferrari.com, and we can put them on the Ferrari fan list. Then we let them know when he's going to be in their city. Like I say, pretty much in different places in Nevada and in Tennessee. I think he's going to be in Gatlinburg, Knoxville, Pigeon Forge, Spring City. I mean, it's a whole Smoky Mountain tour, and then a couple of Nashville gigs. And you can contact me and say, hey, we have this place here. We'd really like to get John over there to perform. And that's really how we learn about new places. Usually the fancier places like the country clubs and the yacht clubs. And so it's really cool to go to places like that.
That's amazing. Look, I think people are going to get a very clear idea of what John is about. I would say to everyone, if you've got Spotify or Apple Music or similar, just go through the back catalog. You'll find there's something in there for everyone. Have a listen through, and I mean, I like personally his earlier stuff because it's a bit more gritty.
Well,
But
are you going to play drums one day on the dust off? John is remixing that.
I didn't want to
So
say that. You know,
I'm going to just tell you, send it to you, and we're going
okay,
to
okay. You heard it first, folks. You heard it first. Okay, so look, I'm just going to wind this up and say thank you so
Please.
much. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I have only known Pepper for a few months, but she's an incredible woman in her own right, and it's a great partnership, musical partnership that you and John have got, because it ends up with the production of such great stuff. And
Oh,
long
thank
may
you,
it
Gareth.
continue. Long may it
Thank
continue.
you. Thank you. And
And
thank you for having him on the show.
oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Until next time we talk, I wish every one of you out there health, wealth, and happiness, and of course, great mental health. Bye bye now.